Hey, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Let me make sure that I am live. If you can see me okay, let me know. Let me check here. Uh, Boom. Very good. Perfect. That way I can see the comments when you are saying hi and I can post them on the screen. Here we go. Let me make sure that I am live. Perfect. All right. So today, I've decided to go live because as we are getting closer to the end of August, I figured it would be a great time to start planning ahead and specifically planning for Q4. So the last 3 months of the year. Can you believe it's already that time of the year? It's crazy. Okay. I cannot see the comments. Let me see. Here we go. Enable here. I'm using my phone. Oh, here we go. That's why. Here we go. All right. Hey, Sandra. Hey, I know, right? I'm live. I never go live. I think I should go live more often. All right, so show on stage. Here we go. I'm doing it on my phone, so it's a little trickier because I don't like my external camera. So that's why I decided to do it on my phone. Hey, Sandra. Good to see you here. All right. I know, right? I should probably go live more often. Just like I'm trying to figure out a good day to do it when the kids are at school. So maybe like a Friday morning or something like that. That could work well. All right. So excited to have you here. So today we are talking about planning for Q4. We're about to end, we're in the middle of Q3, past the half mark point of Q3. And so this is a great time to plan ahead. If you know me, you know that I'm a planner. I like to plan my content in advance. I like to plan things. I have calendars all around me, right? This is my jam. And so business planning is basically being able to prepare yourself, prepare your business for what's ahead. All right. And so in the framework that I use, my content marketing framework, before I even talk about what content I'm going to put out there, the first step is to plan. Planning is the foundation because if you don't know why you're creating content, why you want to put out, why you want to go live, why you want to create a carousel, why you want to do this and do that, well, you keep doing it without any end goal, right? But if you know exactly why you're doing the things that you want to do, then it's a lot easier to reach your goal. Hey, Prill, good to see you. You know what? Prill is actually with me on another camera because we're in a co-working session, and this is what I doing during my co-working time. Great to see you here. Awesome. All right, so what is the first thing you have to do when it comes to planning for Q4? I'm going to divide this training in three parts. Okay, there are three steps. And obviously, I need you guys to bring your pen and paper because I'm going to ask you to take some notes. Okay, class is in session. And so it's not just about listening to what I'm saying, but taking notes, taking notes. Hey, friend, how are you, Francis? Good to see you here today. I love it. I love it. I love it. I saw you change your Facebook header. So I was like, she's back. I love it. I love it. All right. So, three different steps as you are looking at business planning for Q4. The first thing you have to do is figure out what your goals are. Same principle. If you don't know why you're doing something, it's going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to nowhere. You're going to be doing things, but without getting results because you're just doing without knowing exactly when it's enough or why you're doing the things that you're doing, or even more importantly, what are the important things that you need to do. And we're going to cover that in point number three. But first thing you have to do is look at your goal. We've all heard of SMART goals, right? It's what is it? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, right? So we all familiar with what SMART goals are. But the part that really is important to remember when it comes to SMART goals is that they have to be personal. They have to be meaningful. So the relevant part might be the part that talks about that, but it really have to be you really have to be emotionally attached to your goals. You have to understand why this goal is important for you. So, when it comes to a monetary goal, let's say you want to make $5,000 per month in October, November, and December. Okay. So, now my next question for you is okay, why? Why 5,000? Why you want to make this much amount of money? Why, and why? And you have to dig deeper so that you really understand what is your attachment to that number. What does it mean to you? If you don't reach that goal, what does it mean to you as well? So why is this number important? It shouldn't be something that other people are saying that is important. Why 5,000? Why 10,000? Why 20,000? Why a million? Why that number? Really have an understanding of the number, the meaning of this number to you specifically. What are you going to be able to do once you reach that goal? So, what is even the consequence or the benefits of reaching that goal for you personally? What will it mean for you? What is the meaning of that goal? So, it's highly subjective. I cannot tell you what your goal should be. Nobody else could tell you what your goal should be. It has to mean something to you personally. Okay. So take the time to write down your goal. It has to be measurable. So I want you guys to write a number, not to say, I want to be monetized on YouTube, for example. What does that mean? What is the exact number? Is it reaching 4,000 watch hours? Is it reaching 1,000 subscribers? Is it uploading at least 3 videos per month? Write the numbers. Okay. So going to take 5 seconds to let you write your numbers. Let me know if you have done that. One more point when it comes to the goals. It doesn't have to be uniform across all months. Usually, what happens and what we want is in your business, you're going to have growth. So, your goal in September might be lower than your goal in October. Okay, so we want increase. So it's okay to start at a lower number and then increase that amount. So let's say 5,000. It's okay to say 5,000 in October and then 6 in November and then, I don't know, 10 in December. Okay, so it's okay not to have the same number across the month because realistically, you're going to grow your income. But if you want to keep it the same, that's fine as well. Okay. So once you've done that, that's the first step. Being very clear on your goal, being very clear on that number. The second step for you is to be clear really on, okay, how are we going to reach that goal? What is the offer that is going to allow me to make this amount of money? Okay. I'm assuming that we're all going to use, or most of us are going to use a monetary financial goal, okay, because it's for your business, right? And so, what is the offer, not the offers? The offer, we're going to focus on one offer, one goal, one offer. What is that one offer that I'm going to focus on for the next 3 months that is going to allow me to reach that goal? One goal, one offer. Okay. So, a lot of people will make the mistake of starting with their content. They will say, I need to be on YouTube and create videos about this, this, that. But they miss these first steps, which are determining the goal, so the end goal, the direction, and then the means, the offer. How are you going to reach that goal? A lot of people are creating content without any offer, right? So, yes, it's great to rely on AdSense, but that is a longer path to reaching your goal. A shorter path would be to have your own offers in your business, to offer some services or products or anything like that that you sell of the platform and that the platform allows you to have visibility. Okay. So when it comes to your offer, there are different things that you could offer. There are different things that you could provide for your ideal client. Okay. So we want to be able to do some simple math because numbers don't lie. Numbers have no emotions, but they tell the truth. They tell it as it is. So we have our goal, and now we need to figure out okay, how many spots or how many clients at what price point do I need to set it up so that I can reach my goal? Okay, so again, your pen and paper, let's do this. Let's say that your goal is to make, and I'm going to write it down as well. Let's say that your goal is to make $5,000, 5,000 in October, 5,000 in November, and 5,000 in December. Okay, so that's the first step, the goal. Now the offer. What is the offer that is going to allow you to reach that goal? So how are you going to make $5,000 basically? Let's say that you're going to offer a one-on-one coaching, okay? One-on-one support. All right. So let's say it's one-on-one for each month, one-on-one. But now we have to figure out what is the price point. Let's say that you're comfortable charging, I don't know, $1,000 a month, okay, per client. So I want to say one-on-one at 1,000. Now, simple math. Your offer is one-on-one and it's $1,000, and your goal is $5,000. How many spots do you need to sell? 5 spots. Okay. So 1,000 times 5 people, 5 clients will allow you to reach your $5,000 goal. Okay. Now, you can look at this equation and you can either say, you know what? This looks pretty simple, easy, doable. I like it. I can do it. I can find 5 people who are going to pay $1,000 a month to work one-on-one with me. Okay. We're not going to go into the details of how you work with clients, like on one-on-one or for each of these offers. I have another resource, it's a free PDF. I'm going to put it in the description of this video, where you have 21 different ways that you can make money in your online business, from one-on-one coaching to retreats to workshops to VIP days, different ways. Okay, so you can look at that resource when we're done here. But when you're looking at your equation, you're like, okay, 5 people at $1,000, and then I reach my goal. Or maybe you're like, I don't know if I can really find these 5 people at $1,000. That seems like a very high price point. Okay, I'm not judging. I'm like, I have no attachment to your goal. Again, it's very subjective. But if for any reason you're like, you know what, that doesn't sound very doable to me, then okay, you can either change the number of people or the price point. I do not recommend that you change the goal because you have an attachment to that goal. It's meaningful to you. So don't change the goal. Just try to find a different way to reach that goal. Make sense? So let's say that instead of $1,000, let's say we cut it in half and we're like, okay, $500. So in that case, how many people do you need? 10 people. Okay. Now, if you look at this and you're like, ugh, I don't want to work with that many people and in a one-on-one base, like maybe you're introvert like me and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. Okay. We can work the numbers again. Okay. But it always has to lead to 5,000 because we're not touching the goal. We are touching the price point or the number of clients that we're getting. So let's say we want to work with that amount of that the same number of people, but we're like, you know what, maybe the price point is not right. Okay, maybe we're like, you know what, I want to be able to charge more and work with less people. So what if we were to charge 2,500, and in this case, how many people do we need? Just 2. All right, 2 people at 2,500, 5 people at 1,000, 10 people at 500. So you see, you can break it down at different levels until you're comfortable with that equation, either with the price point or the number of people that you will need to work with. That's if you want to do one-on-one. If you don't want to do one-on-one coaching, well, there are other options. Again, like I said, I have a resource where I share 21 ways to make it work. But another way that you can make it work is to do workshops, group settings. Okay. So instead of one-on-one, you're going to do a group setting. This is where you can really leverage your time because instead of working with one person at a time, you're working with 10 people at a time. Okay. And you can make a lot more money this way. So I'm going to write down a group of 10 people. Okay. But this is going to be a one-day workshop. So one day, charging $500, and it's going to be a workshop, like a Saturday morning hands-on workshop that you're doing with 10 people. So You charge 500, you get 10 people, and you make $5,000 in just one day. Maybe that's better for you. Maybe that's a format that you prefer. You have choices. That's my point, right? There are different ways to reach your goal. If you want to do one-on-ones, if you want to do a one-day workshop, if you want to do a VIP day and charge $5,000 and only work with one person, that's another way to do it. Okay? Different ways depending on your preference. If you like to work one-on-one, if you like groups, if you like long-term, if you like short-term, like one day and done, it's up to you. Okay, you get to decide how you want to work with your clients. All right. So we have the format. Write down what you want to do. Do you want to do one-on-ones? Do you want to do a one-day workshop? Do you want to do a 3-month workshop? I mean, a 3-month group program, a 6-month group program, 12-month group program, one-on-one for 12 months. What format works best for you? Write it down. If you want to post it in the comment, feel free to do that. I'm going to read some of the comments. Hey, Ray, good to see you. All right. If you want to post your price points, let you feel free to do that. I'm going to wait a few seconds because I know that there's a delay. And then we'll go into our next step. Okay. Okay. So you have your offer. You know exactly what the price point is going to be. And you know how many people are you need to sign up. All right. Now let's dig a little deeper into your offer. How what are you going to sell? So what is this offer going to be about that other people are going to happily buy from you? What are you going to sell that people want to buy? That's that's the important question. Because sometimes we want to sell things, but there's no demand for it. Just because you want to sell, you want to teach people how to do their own hair, doesn't mean that people want to learn that. Okay. Just because you want to teach new moms how to cook doesn't mean that there's a demand for it. Okay. Chances are there is a demand for whatever it is that you want to do. Chances are there is demand for it, but you just have to find where these people are. Okay. Purely saying, I like workshops, but one-on-one may be easiest at first. Yeah, it's really up to you. It's really up to you. One thing that I say often is that when I started my business back in 2018, 2017, everybody was doing one-on-ones. Everybody was doing 3 months one-on-one. And I don't necessarily like that format personally. I don't prefer it. But because I was seeing everybody doing it, I was like, okay, I guess I have to do it too, because that's what people are doing. And I didn't like the process of getting people on the phone for discovery calls and all that. I did not like it, but I thought that I had to do it. And so I wasn't signing any clients because I didn't want to do that. And so internally, I was avoiding selling, promoting this because I didn't like it. Okay. So definitely do something that you enjoy, that really makes you happy, a way that you like to work with clients. I like group coaching too. Bang for buck. Exactly, right? Some people are like, you know what, I'm an introvert. I don't want to work with a lot of people. And some people are like, you know what, I'm an introvert. I just want a one and done, even if it's with a lot of people. So hey, it could work in the way it could work. Oh, how do I take this up? There we go. Francis is saying, I want to sell my career break guide workbook. All right. Okay. This is a different format. So that's not even one-on-one or group. So you're not even live with people. You're selling a digital product. And that's like, for me, it's like creme de la creme. Is like ultimate best offer, because it's like you don't even have to talk to people to sell that offer, which is great. Which is great. Okay. Prill is saying group coaching is my number one choice, but drumming up the clients may be an issue for me. Okay, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why do you think it would be an issue? Okay. So for each offer, I'm not going to say that one is easier than another. For some people, one on one is like piece of cake, but for me, it wasn't. For some people, digital products are like, oh, easy. I don't even have to talk to people. But it also requires a big audience to make $5,000 with a $100 offer. Well, let's just do the math. How many people do you need? Is it 500? No, 500? No, sorry. 5,000 divided by 97. You need 51 people. Okay. If you don't have an audience, that's going to be challenging. Okay. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying it's going to be a lot more challenging than finding two people who can pay $2,500. Okay. So there are pros and cons, challenges, and big benefits for all offers. So now it's really about your level of comfort promoting that offer because you're going to have to do the promotional work, and also your audience's preference. Like depending on your niche, some people might prefer being in an individual setting. Like if you're talking about something that is highly sensitive, for example, people might be more interested in working with you one-on-one than in a group of 10, 20, 30 people. Okay, so you can take these into consideration as well. So, but it takes effort for all offers. Not none of them is like, oh, this is easier than this. It Yes and no. It really depends on you and how you your level of comfort and yeah, how you promote each offers. Okay? So, how do you know where there's demand for what you want to sell? These are the green flags. If you see somebody else doing what you want to do, if you see somebody else selling what you want to sell, the closer to what you want to sell, the better. That's a green flag right there. Why? Not because it's competition, but because they already went ahead, did the market research, and proved that there is demand for this. They're already showing you that people want this thing. Okay? So there's proof of concept. You don't have to start from scratch. You're just looking around and seeing what's there already. It's a lot riskier to be the first to do something that's never been done. As scared as you could be for like about competition, like you're like, oh, I don't want to have a lot of competitors. The thing is that competitors are the ones that went before you and did the work already. So it really is a shortcut for the work that you have to do. But if nobody's done it before, it's a lot of heavy work on your part. A lot of education that you have to do, a lot of failure, a lot of trying and not this and trying and not this and this not working, right? If you're the first one to do something that's never been done. So doing something that's been done before, green flag, absolute green flag. So now, how do you differentiate your offer from somebody else's offer? Well, this is where you find the gaps. So you observe what's already being done in your niche and you look at what the gaps are. Maybe you see a lot of men do this thing and talk about this, and you're like, you know what? Where are the women getting that information from? What are the needs that women have on for this topic? I can be the one who will fill this gap. Maybe it's somebody who maybe there's okay, for example, the exercise, health, nutrition field. A lot of people are in that niche. It's not saturated. It's just that there's a lot of quote unquote competition. That doesn't mean that there's not a spot for you. You just have to find the gaps. For example, I would say the bulk of the weight loss niche is for 20 to 30 years old. male, okay? Even let's say 40. But the bulk of the offer is for this segment. Excuse me. Now, as a mom of four who has a little bit of belly left, who is in her 40s, who maybe doesn't want to go to the gym, maybe who's intimidated by all the gym bros and all of that, who might not have a lot of time. Now, when I see what's being offered, I could follow what they're doing, or I can say, you know what, I'm not doing anything because they don't really understand me. They don't understand my needs, they don't understand my issues, they don't understand my, problem, my body problems and all of that. But if you were to show up as the person who serves moms who have, um like the kids are grown, like they're not newborn, but you're still carrying the baby weight around, like you're serving these moms who are busy, who are packing lunches, who are also having their 9 to 5, or maybe they're in business, or however you want to frame it, but you're serving an audience that is not being served right now. You really don't care about the competition because they're not serving your audience. So you are really filling the existing gaps. So your job is not to go and educate people about how to how do you to lose weight as a mom who has like grown kids, but because these people already know, right? But it's really about differentiating yourself, showing up as the person for this niche, this segment of the overall niche. Does that make sense? So you have to show up. You have to show up and really show how different you are. The more specific, the better, because you're not just a health coach for everybody. You're not. I mean, if you want to be a health coach for everybody, then you're competing with everybody else. But if you target the gaps, the people who are underserved or not served exactly the way they would like to be served, then this is where your your business will thrive, because you are serving a specific niche, a specific area, a specific demand that is not being matched with an existing offer. All right. So they've done the research already. They've done the market research. You see people doing it, but you're identifying the gaps and you're like, you know what? But they're not doing it for Black women who struggle with this. Ooh, but they're not doing it for teen moms. Oh, but they're not doing it for perimenopausal women. Oh, but they're not doing it for women who are on the road, who are always traveling. Oh, but they're not doing it for, right? So you need to identify these gaps in order for you to position yourself. Okay. Now, even if in the gaps there are multiple people doing the things that you want to do within the gaps, how you're going to differentiate yourself is with your story, your personal brand, how you approach it, how you've lived your life, your experiences. All these have to be shared through your content, and that's how people will relate to your story, and that's how people are going to sign with you and not with the other person who does the exact same thing as you. So even if you have somebody who does the exact same thing as you, the differentiator is you, your story, your accent, your face, your approach, your sense of humor, your family dynamics, your trauma, your what makes you you is what will make people sign with you and not with somebody else. So you need to show up. You need to show up authentically as you, as the person that you are. Because when you understand that, the more you hide, I'm not saying that you have to tell your life story to everybody, but you have to show up as you. And even though there are different facets of you, like we all have different personalities and depending on who we are, who we're with, but the side that you want to show, that you're comfortable showing, that's the one that is going to get people to be like, you know what, I like her. She's cool, or she's funny, or I relate to that story, right? From personal experience, the first coaching program that I signed up for back in 2016 is the first group program, group coaching program. And it was a lot of money. And I hadn't really I wasn't making money with my business yet, right? And so I was like, I was looking for a coaching program. And back then, just like today, there were different options. Marie Forleo, what's her name? Amy Porterfield, a lot of big names, right? And you're like, you know what? I like this, I like this, I like that. I was following a lot of different coaches. The coach that I signed up sign up for, I don't know. The coach that I signed up with, one of the reasons why I signed up for her coaching program had less to do with the program itself and the content of the program and more to do with who she was and her life experience. Again, a lot of different coaches who are doing the same thing. But the day that she shared her experience as a daughter of, I think, uh, I don't know where she's from, some Asian immigrants. I think I think her parents are from China. I don't remember. But the day that she shared that story as a former engineer who had a great career and decided to leave that career for entrepreneurship, and the reaction of her immigrant parents, that was super relatable to me, because that in a way is my story too. Not an engineer, but being in academia and all of that. And so I was like, she gets it. She understands. So yes, I was interested in the whole business background and how she can help me take my business to the next level and all of that. But what made her different from another coach was her story. And that's why I signed with her. So parts of your story that you're going to share are going to be the things that will make you different from another person who is sharing, selling the exact same thing as you. And that's why you never have to fear competition, because it's like nobody can compete with your story, because your life story is your life story. Nobody, even if you have a twin sister, you don't have the same story, the same life story, right? So you don't have to worry about that. All right, let me look at the comments. I don't show up consistently on YouTube or stay connected by emailing my list to check in. And we can change that. We can change that. We have to change that, okay? And it's okay sometimes, even me, sometimes I'm in a period of like, oh, I'm super consistent and then I kind of drop off, or because sometimes life happens, right? We give ourselves grace, and we try again, and we try again, and we try again. We're not robots, right? Francis is saying, I need to get better at this too. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, we we keep climbing. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting back into it when we fall off. Authenticity is easier than wearing my work mask. I love that. I just had to trust that it would resonate with others. Absolutely. And it does resonate, Sandra. It does. It definitely does resonate. If you hadn't shared parts of your story, like you being a former teacher, you know, that it's in itself is parts of your story that I personally resonate with, right? There are parts of your story, and I'm not just talking about Sandra, but us in general. There are parts of our stories that people are like, whatever, or like, yeah, so what? And parts of our story that people are like, aha, she gets it, or this is exactly it, or because of this, I know she will understand this. Okay, so it's not everything about you that people are going to be like, oh yeah, she's perfect for me, but it could be that one thing. And for me, with that coach, was that one thing, right? And that made me like, yeah, this is it. Um, she, like, her lifestyle is very different from mine, right? I don't know if she was married back then, but I'm going to assume that she was. But she doesn't have kids, for example, and she lives in Canada, and so there were so many things that are very different from my life. But that one thing, I'm like, that's it. That's it. All right. Prill saying Dr. Linda and me talking this morning about the work version, right? Exactly. Talking about the mask that we wear and how we write emails in our work voice is very different from our friend voice and even within friends. The way I talk to my French speaking friends is not the same way that I speak to my English speaking friends. And it's not that, it's just, it's just context. It was my default for so long, right? We've been there. We've all been there. Yeah. So next point. So we have the goals. We have our offer. So you wrote down your goals, right? You wrote down your offer with the price point, how many people, so how per month in October, in November, and December, how many people at what price point for that offer in order to reach that goal that you wrote down for point number one. Okay. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. We're getting into the content. How are we going to make this happen? What are the activities that we need to focus on in order to reach these goals? There are activities that we tend to do that lead to nowhere or that are not directly related to our goal. And there are activities that we do that matter that sometimes we don't want to do, but that lead directly to our goals. Okay? So the activities in the first column that could be important but are not urgent, could be important but will not have a direct impact on your goals right now in Q4 include working on your logo, working on your website, doing a photo shoot. These activities are good, they're good for your business, but ultimately they don't have a direct link to your goals. You making $5,000 as a service provider, if you were a product provider, like if you're doing Shopify or something, obviously you need a website. But if you're a service provider, like a coach or a strategist or a consultant, something like that, you do not need a website right now at this point. Eventually, yes. I have a website. It's not updated, but I didn't start with a website when I signed my first clients. Okay. So, working on your logo on Canva, a website, these are good to have, but they are not directly impacting your revenue, your income right now. For Q4, you can forget about these activities because they just fill time. The activities that will directly impact your income are activities that will allow you to grow your audience, activities that will allow you to engage with your audience, and the activities that will allow you to sell your offers to your audience. These three things. You need to grow your audience, you need to engage with that audience, and you need to sell to that audience. When you do these things, you are going to reach your goals. Specifically, what are you going to do when it comes to growing your audience? Okay. What are you going to do when it comes to engaging with your audience? What are you going to do when it comes to promoting your offers to sell to your audience? First thing you have to know, and I'm going to assume that you're starting from scratch. Maybe you have a small audience, or maybe you're starting from scratch. How can you sell if you don't have an audience? You can still sell if you don't have an audience. What you're going to do is that you're going to leverage other people's audiences. So your strategy here and your daily activities will require you to go on other people's audience or spaces, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, and interact there. Show up there. Share content there. Help people there. When people ask questions, you comment and you provide support based on your expertise. You are the one who is going to be serving, because at the end of the day, selling is serving. Selling is not a naughty word. Selling is not taking advantage of people. Selling is not ripping people off. Selling is serving people. Selling is helping people. You just happen to get money in exchange of you helping. That's all it is. It's not a bad thing. It's helping others. And if you see somebody who has a need and who is saying openly on the internet that they have a need and that they need help, and you have the solution, you can help. Are you going to be quiet, or are you going to be like, oh, yeah, I can help? No big deal, right? Would you help? That's the question that I want you to answer. Would you help somebody who needs help if you knew they couldn't pay you? Would you help them? Would you help somebody who needs help and you know for sure they cannot pay you any money? If you answer yes, then you have the heart of a servant. Like, you see selling as serving. The money part is just cherry on top. You don't do this just to get paid. You do this out of the goodness of your heart because you want to help people, right? You'd help them on YouTube. Yes, but you still help them, right? Exactly. There are different ways to help people. There are VIP day level of help. There's free level of help. There's workshop level of help. There's passive digital products level of help. But all of this is help, right? Um, so yeah, so you wouldn't be quiet. You would just direct them to a place where you can help them, whether it's free or paid. And so when you don't have an audience, or when you have a very small audience, you need to be in other people's spaces to, I'm not going to say the word use, but to leverage their audience. Being there not to poach clients, but being there to support and serve people. When you do it in a genuine way, genuine way, an authentic way, people notice. People notice that you help. People notice that that you're very helpful. And when I see somebody who give me a lot of good answers, I naturally I go back to the person because I know that it's going to be more. I know that, okay, that person gave me some great tips here, but I need more. Okay, I'm going back to that person. I'm not going to go back look from scratch. I'm going to go back to the person who already gave me a head start and dig deeper with that person, right? So you need to be able to leverage other people's audiences. You need to be able to be visible, depending on the platform. Like, for example, Facebook group, you can post in those groups if allowed. You can comment on people's questions, or depending again on your niche and how you can support them. Here we go. Comments. Girl, I gave it away. I needed all of this today. And I mean, it's cool to give it away, but at the same time, I think here's how I'm going to say. I'm not going to say not going to tell you to stop doing that. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you see that there's a problem with your money, or that you feel like you don't have enough money to do fun stuff or to do the things that you want to do, that's enough pressure for you to be like to switch to switch from giving it all away to, okay, we're going to start charging. But if your life is awesome and you're not complaining, yeah, sure, give it all away as much as you want. But if you feel like, oh, there's friction here, or I need to make more money, where I, if money becomes like a problem, like it's not allowing you to, like what you have now is not allowing you to live the life that you want to live, then yeah, make that switch. Okay. Ray saying, yes, because their experience with you might spur them to give you a review that draws in paying clients. Absolutely. Absolutely. The person that you help now might not be the paying client. It might be, and that's why I always like to. That's how I actually started with my business, like getting clients. I didn't have my own community. I didn't have a Facebook group or anything like that. I was going into other people's Facebook groups and I was posting content, helpful content, valuable content. I was commenting on other people's posts. People were asking questions. How do you do this? How do you, and I would provide them with great value. And the thing about when you do that publicly is that the lurkers, the people who are looking but will never comment on your content or will never post or will never give you a like or a heart or whatever you want, these can be your best clients. They might not, like, your best clients might not be the person who's like, hey, Linda, I need help. How can I work with you? Send me the link. I'm in. This might not be your best. They could be, but a lot of times the client, like, I think my VIP day clients never said openly, publicly, send me the link or I need this, or not that there's anything wrong with that, but most of them was either in person and on the side, like, yes, let's do this, or in private message. So just because you don't see those outside signs, those visual signs of comments and likes and hearts, and doesn't mean that people are not making money. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get clients or that you're not going to make money. Those signs are good, yes, but that doesn't mean anything. I like a lot of people's comments. I mean, a lot of people's posts, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to work with them. Sometimes I give a like for encouragement or because, oh, I like the picture and I don't even read the text. It doesn't mean anything. It could mean, yes, I'm going to work with you, but it could mean, hey, this was great. Thank you. Right? Here we go. Really saying money always comes regardless. You have to be led to do what you do. Exactly. Exactly. So even if you know for sure there's no money coming from this person, are you going to let them in their pain or are you still going to pay them? Money's going to come either way. Money's going to come from somewhere. You might not know from where, but it's going to come. It might not be from that person that you're helping. You might be from somebody else who got value from what you said, from that comment, from right? But your job is not to determine if people have money in their pockets. Your job is to give what you can give, is to give the answers, to give the value, is to share the content, is to post that video, is to do your part, the thing that you can control. Okay. So how do you do that? You share content in other people's spaces or comment, contribute there. So these are activities that you focus on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, that you can track. You can see what's working, what's not working. Um, and that's how you actually start growing your audience. If you get featured on somebody's YouTube channel, if you get featured on somebody's Facebook group, then people start coming to your own house, to your own YouTube channel, to your own Facebook group. Okay. That's how you grow your own audience. It's by going into somebody else's space and borrowing some of their people. It's not I don't know how you say that in English, but they are, it's not like you're taking their people and then they have less people. No, you're not bringing people over. You are allowing people to have different um, buckets to look at. So their audience can follow them and love them, and they can follow you and love you as well. It's not a one or nothing. Okay. So leverage other people's audiences, grow your own audience with your own content, engage with that audience. How do you engage and nurture that audience? By sharing content consistently, by getting to know that audience. So there's certain type of content that you need to share, content that is like market research, like type of content where you get to know your audience, polls, questions, sharing behind the scenes, valuable content where they know they come to your channel because you're always dropping gems, you're always saying great things on your content, and they need to hear that from you. Last point, you grow you nurture, and the last thing you do as a business owner, you sell. Just because just because you are super funny, like people are like, oh man, I would love to meet her in person. Like your job as a business owner is not to be the class clown. Your job is not to make everybody happy. Your job is not to make people feel good after they watched your videos. That's part of it. But ultimately, as a business owner, your job is to go back to point number one, which is your goal, your financial goal, to make money, to make that amount. So there's content that is going to be haha hey hey content that is like, oh yeah, we're getting to know each other. There's content that's going to be like, hey, I'm the expert. This is how you do certain things. This is what I recommend. This is the best way to do this. Like, you show your expertise. And there's content that's going to be like, hey, you want this? This is how you get it. Click here, sign up here, all of that. Because ultimately, you want people to buy what you have to sell. Okay. So, again, this is very, very important because most people who burn out online, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or whatever, is because they start with this last point that we just talked about. They start by sharing content, creating reels, carousels, and stories. Oh, I hear that you have to post 5 times a week on Instagram. And they go and create those reels. And then they go and do stories. And then nothing happens. Nothing happens because there's no reason why behind all of that. There's no strategy, there's no end goal, there's no roadmap that works for them for their niche. They're just sending content into the internet black hole and they keep doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it until they burn out. But if you know exactly why you're doing it, so you're starting with a goal, then you go into the specific offer, and then and only then you go into the content, you're not going to burn out because you're going to focus on the exact activities, the exact type of content that you need to post, and not trying to do everything, trying to keep up with people who are like, oh, let's do Pinterest or let's do TikTok. Here's the thing, everything works. Everything works. Pinterest, it works. TikTok works. YouTube works. Snap works. Clubhouse works. Everything works. Everything. But it will not work for you if you're trying to do everything. You got to focus on one thing at a time, one goal, one offer, one platform for the next 90 days. Focus on that. And then as you see the results, now you can add another thing. Now you can add, okay, let me do that on Instagram now. Now that it's working on YouTube, how about I turn these into reels for Instagram? Oh, Instagram, TikTok. Okay, now that Instagram is working, let me do TikTok. It's just like when you are exercising. Let's say you want to lose weight, because everybody can relate to that example. You want to lose weight. And keto, okay, it works. Okay, I'm not a medical doctor. This is not advice for you. I'm just making things up when it comes to health. So don't follow this advice. Keto works. Cardio works. Intermittent fasting works. What else? A lot of things work, right? But if you say, I want to lose 50 pounds, or I want to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year, and today you do jump rope. Tomorrow you do intermittent fasting. The day after that you do keto. The day after that you do this. In theory, every single one of these strategies work. But if you jump from one thing to the other, nothing's going to stick, and you're not going to lose that belly weight, right? But if you say, you know what, my goal is to lose the belly thingy. For the next 90 days, I'm going to focus on just that. Forget the arms, forget the legs, forget everything else. Forget the stamina or whatever you want. I'm going to focus on this area only, using one strategy that works, that is known, like it's been proven it works. Are you going to get the results? of course you're going to get the results because you were very intentional, very focused, and everything that you did, all the activities that you did were directly related to that one goal. But if you do a lot of things that in theory work, but there's no focus, there's no, okay, this is directed to a goal, it's not going to work. Does that make sense? So you really have to be able to, and this is hard, like to really restrain yourself to one goal, one platform, one offer, because everything works. Everything works. And sometimes you're going to watch a video and somebody's going to talk about Pinterest that is passive and then this. It works, but everything takes a lot of work as well. Everything works, but you have to focus. If you want to do Pinterest, focus on Pinterest and go all out on it. If you want to do Facebook, Facebook works, but you have to go all out on it. If you want to do Instagram, if you want to do YouTube, everything works, but you have to focus on one thing at a time. Okay, Ray's saying you're giving them an extra source of information options. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Any questions so far? Anything? We hitting the 1 hour. Didn't want this to be too long, but I wanted to make sure that you have a hands-on, very specific thing that, okay, you know that my main goal really is for you to be able to get rid of overwhelm. And I think that online there's a lot of overwhelm because, again, everything works. Everything works. The points one more time, Krill? Sure. Point number one, get clear on your goals. Smart goals, emotionally meaningful goals. Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to make this amount of money? What will it mean for you? What will you be able to do once you make that money? Two, after the goal, how you're going to reach that goal is within the offer. One specific offer. How are you going to sell? How are you going to make money? What are you going to sell? One-on-one, workshop, VIP days, retreats, digital products. Do the math. The equation has to make sense to you. If I look at the number and I'm like, 5 people at $1,000, piece of cake. But for somebody else, they could be like, ooh, that's $1,000 too much. Maybe they're like 500 for 10 people. Okay, piece of cake. Somebody might be like, ooh, 10 people, that's a lot. I don't want to work with a lot of people, but I'm willing to charge more. Maybe they're like 2,500 for 2 people, piece of cake. Know what works for you. Okay, because you're the one who's gonna have to do the work. You're the one who's gonna have to promote it. Okay, so what you're comfortable with, obviously challenge yourself, right? You don't want to be, you don't want to stay at the comfort zone, but you want to challenge yourself so you can surpass your goal. Ultimately, that's what we want. So goal, offer, and then we know exactly what our activities are going to be, what our content is going to be. The content has to be related to our offer. If I'm helping perimenopausal moms to lose weight, and my free content on YouTube is all about how to lose weight, but it's very much applicable to somebody who is in their 20s and 30s. When I sell this to perimenopausal moms, they'll be like, what? There's no alignment between the free content and the paid content. Okay. So from goals all the way to the activities that you do every single day, when you're in front of your computer and you decide to go through your to-do list and you look at the things you have to do, ask yourself, is this directly or indirectly related or aligned with my ultimate goal? And I think Sandra said it earlier somewhere. I don't remember. Let's see if I can scroll back up. That there's some tasks. Here we go. Those are tasks that I've decided to farm out to freelancers. Absolutely. There are things that are still important to do, but you don't have to be the person to do them. Like, for example, Canva for your thumbnails. you're going to do YouTube, you better have thumbnails. But if you're like, I'm not great with thumbnails, or I'm wasting too much time on Canva, guess what? You can outsource that. Okay. It's still important to have. It's like you need thumbnails if you're going to be on YouTube, but you don't have to be the person to do that. Okay. So 3 steps: goals, offers, and content. In your content, what are these activities that you're going to do? Some important but don't mean anything right now, and others that will allow you to grow your audience, to engage your audience, and to sell to that audience. Okay. Some of you know already, I have a challenge, 1K30 challenge. I call that the how to make $1,000, or your first or your next $1,000 in the next 30 days. So I'm opening a new cohort starting September the 15th. So in 2 weeks. And this cohort is going to be 6 weeks long. I'm going to give an extra week because just the way the calendar works. So it's going to be all the way till from September 15, looking at my calendar here, September 15 till October 31st. And where I guide you through this process, where I guide you through the process, okay, determining your goals, determining the best offer for you, how to sell that offer. What kind of content do you put out there? What kind of videos do you put out there? How do you plan your content? Because that's my gem. When you have October, September. Okay, this is another October. We have November here, and we have December. So all my content is planned all the way till December. How can you do that? How can I help you do that as well? Because the great thing about knowing exactly what your content is going to be like, it really decreases your stress level because you're not scrambling for ideas. You're not scrambling for, okay, what do I post now? You know exactly what to post. And the best thing too is that you can schedule it in advance. Whether you use Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you can schedule it in advance. So that way you can be somewhere else, like in Paris, somewhere eating croissant, and your content is doing the work for you. Okay. Inside of the challenge, we are going to be able to have a roadmap that is personalized to you, because my goals are not your goals, and they're not somebody else's goals in the cohort. Okay, everybody has their own strategy. If you want to focus on digital products, your strategy is going to be different than if somebody wants to focus on a 1-day workshop, or VIP days, or one-on-ones, or long group program. Okay, so what I like about this challenge is that it has daily accountability. So every day I check on you to make sure that the activities that you're doing are not playing on Canva, but they are really about getting, like, they're aligned with your goal. Okay. I'm going to put the link in the description of this video, but it's basically stan.store/LindaNL. The link to get to sign up for the challenge. We start September the 15th. We have our coaching calls every Mondays. We also have co-working sessions every Thursdays. And one thing that I also enjoy about this challenge is that it's a challenge. So it's not where you kind of disappear a little bit, but I'm like tracking you down to make sure that you're doing the thing that you're supposed to do. Okay. I'm also throwing some bonuses in the mix. So I have an extra bonus for that expires this Sunday, and another bonus that expires the following Sunday. For this Sunday, for those of you who sign up before this Sunday, midnight Central Time, you get a one-on-one coaching session with me. So you can have that call as early as next week. That way we can already map out your own personalized strategy. You also get a bonus number 2, which expires the following Sunday, September the 7th. And that is me doing this for you, mapping out your next 90 days of content. So if you want your own personalized content calendar, that's a bonus that expires September the 7th. You have a pay in full plan, pay in full button, basically, option, and the payment plan option as well. So it's up to you. It's about the same price. It's $497 pay in full, or I think I broke it down under like $170 a month, something like that. So pick the one that you want. It's the same link heading you to, taking you to both options, and pick the one that you prefer. If you have any questions for me, make sure you can still comment on this video. You know how to reach me even on DM on Instagram as well. And if you want me to review some of the steps, happy to do that as well. My pleasure, Sandra. So excited to have you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There we go. All right. So, little recap. How do you do your business plan for Q4, October, November, and December? One, be clear on your goals. These goals have to be meaningful to you. Your goals are not my goals. They're not your neighbor's goals. They're not your sister friend goal. They're not Amy Porterfield's goals. They're your goals. Okay. Be clear on your offer. Again, from personal experience, I want to tell you again, don't don't offer something that you're not excited about. If you don't want to do one-on-ones, don't do one-on-ones. Do the things that you're excited to sell, right? Put together your offer, and then your activities like posting content, like serving in the comments, serving other people. That's how you leverage other people's audiences. So it's never a problem to start from scratch because other people have done the work. Other people have an audience that you can leverage. Okay? So hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Join us inside of the challenge. The earlier you join, the more goodies you get, like a one-on-one coaching session with me and your own personalized 90 days content calendar. Okay? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, Sandra. So excited to have you. Oops, here we go. Hide. My pleasure, Francis. So excited to see you. So excited to see you. And how do I slide? Here we go. My pleasure, Eileen. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Priel. See you in a second. All right, you guys. Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend if you're in the US. I hope you get some rest. And yeah, hope you get some good rest. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.